by the time Shadow hit third gear, I went, I need one of these.
I have to make the life I live as happy as I can and try to do the best.
I like to start with easy stuff just to kind of warm up. So let's start with, and whoever wants to go first, where did each of you grow up?
I grew up in Portland, Oregon, on northeast Portland. I pretty much in the Irvington area, went to Grant High School, Fernwood. Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Argo?
Grew up over here in Lake O.
Lake Oswego.
That's right. Yep. The rich kids are by the lake with the nose in the air.
Ugo, how did you find your way? How did you find your way into motorcycles? What attracted you to motorcycles?
Well, on my 16th birthday, I came home, and there was this Honda 90 Scrambler sitting in the driveway. And I went, brand new. And I went, what in the world is that doing here? I went in there, and my mom says, happy birthday. Dad sent that to you. And my dad was a merchant marine. And so anyway, I started out on my Honda 90 Scrambler, roaring around all over the place, and doing jumps, and I was pretty much addicted to that thing. And then when I was 17, this Volkswagen jumped out from behind a hedge, and I went smack dab right into the driver's door of that baby, and launched me over the top of it, and clear over the car, clear over the other lane, and I went between the crotch of two trees like that and landed in this guy's front lawn, did a bunch of rolling, and landed with my feet up against his front door. And he opens up the door and looks at me and says, what are you doing? I said, I don't know.
So you fell in love right there, huh?
Yeah, so anyway, that was the end of my Honda 90. And so that's how I got started. Then down the road, when I was a junior, Shadow, he had his 49 panhead chopper, 49, yeah. And I was up there at the high school, and he was a year older than I was, and he rolled up, and we grew up together, known him since we were kids. And he said, hey, you want to go for a ride? And I said, well, yeah. So I jumped on the back of his chopper with the ape hangers and the sissy bar, and we went down the back road and down the hill, headed for Burlingame. And by the time Shadow hit third gear, I went, I need one of these. So that's how I got started. Next thing I knew, I had a 61 Sportster that I bought from Baisley for $725.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all rebuilt and everything.
What drew you to the club?
Well, once I got my Sportster, I went and tracked down Shadow and started riding around with him. And then Dingy Bob was another guy that went to school with us. He had a 39 knucklehead, and he showed up, and so we were racing around and partying together. And Dingy Bob knew Gordy from Brother Speed, and knew Pogo and a few other guys. And one night they said, hey, let's go over to the clubhouse. And off we went over to Barber Boulevard to the clubhouse and rolled in there, and here's all these guys and all these choppers. I went, far out, I like this. Then we went racing around town, and beers were cheap, gas was cheap, girls were plentiful. Life was good.
What was going on in your life before the club? Like, what were you really looking for? Or even if you couldn't name it at the time, I mean, you kind of just spoke on it a little bit, but was there something in your spirit that you were?
We had the family construction company, the excavation company, and so I was pretty busy doing that, and riding around with Shadow and them, and getting to know people, and My original idea, hanging around the club, was I figured if I got to know them, they wouldn't steal my bike. Then I didn't realize that nobody was going to steal a Sportster anyway.
What was the moment that you knew that these were your people?
It didn't take long. The fellows, they were, it was exciting. There was lots going on. You got off work, and Pogo, that guy, he had my schedule down. I'd come home from work, and I wouldn't even hardly have the truck parked before he'd come rolling up the driveway. Hey, let's go for a ride. And back in those days, we had Barber House that was right on Barber, right at the north end of Tigard, and then Luke's house was downtown in Goose Hollow, and so we basically had two clubhouses going. And this is before cell phones, before computers and all that stuff. And so the guys that were downtown and lived on the east side and stuff, they'd go over to Luke's house, and Goose Hollow was on Jefferson Street. There was 3 bars on 3 corners, and Luke pretty much owned the neighborhood. And so we'd go down there, and it wasn't long before this guy'd show up, that guy'd show up, and there'd be 5 or 6 guys hanging around drinking beer at Rubens 5, and they'd go, well, let's go see what's going on at Barber House. And they'd jump on the bikes and hit the freeway and right out to the Tigard exit and up down to Barber House. And the funny thing about it is the guys that were at Barber House, they'd be going, well, let's go down and check on the guys downtown. And there was numerous times that we would pass each other on the freeway and wave at each other.
Who's going to turn around?
That was it, yeah. And it was fun. Fun.
Paint me what 1974 looked like. What did a run, a weekend, a night at the clubhouse actually look like back then?
It was a pretty strange time because the OPEC people had just done their embargo on the gas. And so we had these gas lines everywhere you went. You had to wait to get gas at the gas stations. And before all that happened, gas was, 30 cents a gallon. And after the embargo happened, it immediately became more. And so we'd get to the gas station, and here'd be this big long line of cars and stuff, and Pogo would ride right up to the front. We'd all ride right up to the front. We'd put our gas in, and all these people in these cars are rolling up their windows, and off we went.
Right, who's going to say anything?
Yeah. Let me see, what was 1974?
Yeah. That's the year that you became a member, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 72, 73 was when I was hanging around and prospecting. Okay. And life was completely, totally different then. Gas was cheap. You didn't get paid much. You didn't have a lot of money, but you didn't have to have a lot of money. The first trip that me and Shadow did to Niagara Springs in 72, I spent $4.25 from Portland to Boise, and we stopped and had lunch.
Wow.
So it was a completely different time. We had the Crystal Ballroom was downtown, and they had all the big, Janis Joplin and all, Jimi Hendrix, all them people were, those kind of bands were showing up down there. You could go down there and panhandle your way in there. 10 cents here, 20 cents there, and the thing about panhandling was you got to meet the chicks. Hey, baby, right. How about a dime?
Hey, sugar. What did the patch mean to you then, and has what it means changed at all for you?
Well, what it meant then was that you had to earn it. You didn't get it in a post toasties box like they do today. You You didn't call up and go, hey, I want to hang out with you guys, and all of a sudden you got a club. You know, it was very, it was a little bit heavier. If, you know, 6 or 8 guys decided they were going to start up some club down in Salem, and we found out about it, we'd roll on down there and have a little chat with them. And they ceased to be. The bad part about that is that having that type of mentality is we made a lot of enemies. People didn't particularly like having their colors pulled or burn up in a, you know, start, you know, one of the things, you know, we'd get someplace and Prospect, go start a fire in that garbage can over there. And these people be wondering why I was over there starting a fire. And the next thing they knew,
Are we having a barbecue?
yeah, we had numerous barbecues. And we went to this one party down in Grants Pass, and these guys had blue and gold colors just like ours. And we found out they were down there, and we rolled on down there and crashed their party. And let me see, Richard started a crap game. We took all their money in the crap game, which we bought breakfast with the next morning. We made friends with some of their ladies, and needless to say, we didn't make any big friends in Grants Pass that day.
Who were the men that set the standard that you came up under?
Pretty much every one of them. The guys were radical. We had guys that had just come home from Nam. One of the fellows was a tunnel rat, and you didn't mess around with him.
I bet.
We had cowboy guys. We had hippies. We had Bluto. And I mean, you know, Bluto pretty much says it all.
Right.
Diamond Don could get in a fight just with somebody looking at him wrong. And once the fight was on, then pretty much the fight was on. We've had lots of exercise.
Francine, take me back to meeting Ugo. Did you understand the club came with him, and did you know what you were stepping into?
I wasn't sure. I knew when I first saw them, this is really how I describe it. I felt I died and went to heaven.
Yeah.
There was 25 bikes at the bar, beer stacked up, you know, 10-cent beers, all these guys having a good time, you know, and I never even knew there was any clubs in Portland or anywhere. I just seen a few movies and a poster of bikes in my room, you know, so when I saw it, I just went, wow, this looks like fun. Yeah. And it was.
I have to make the life that I do live as happy as I can and try to do the best with what I have. Live the best life I can live.
What does the outside world get most wrong about the women in this life?
Yeah, like, why would girls be there? They must be tramps. You know, there wasn't a lot of respect, I didn't think. But I didn't really pay attention, you know, to what the out world was doing because I didn't care.